What's up, Pinedale kids? Today kicks off week 3 of XL, and let me tell you, we have got a great week of devotions planned for you. We are going to look at 6 different topics taken from 6 different stories in the Bible. Some people say the Bible is boring. Well, I say if you think the Bible is boring, you're not reading it right. The Bible is amazing. It is so full of great stories to discover. Yet some people think the Bible is a book of rules telling you what you can and cannot do. Well, that's kind of true. The Bible does have some rules in it. Those rules show you how life works the best. But the Bible isn't mainly about what you should and shouldn't be doing. It's about God and what He has done for us. The Bible is the greatest book ever written. Did you know that over 100 million Bibles are printed every year? It's been the best-selling book of all time. Every year, more Bibles are sold than any other book. However, you will never see it on the New York Times bestseller list because it is so much higher than the second-place book that it could never even be compared. The Bible was written over a course of 1,500 years by more than 40 individuals from all kinds of backgrounds. There were prophets, fishermen, kings, scholars, a doctor, poets. They lived in 10 different countries on 3 different continents, and it was written in 3 different languages: Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. Yet the Bible tells one complete story. Worldwide, there are over 80,000 versions of the Bible written in almost 3,000 different languages. 50 Bibles are sold every minute in just the United States. The Bible was the first book to ever be printed. Many people have tried to destroy the Bible, to erase it from existence. One such man was this guy by the name of Voltaire. He was this French philosopher in the 1700s who said, "In 100 years, the Bible will be a forgotten and unknown book and will cease to exist." After he died, the Geneva Bible Society bought his house and installed a printing press where they printed over 100,000 copies of the Bible. God sure does have a sense of humor. I love the Bible. It is full of so many amazing things. There's action, there's adventure, there's love, and there's romance. There's mystery. There's humor. There's sorrow. There's advice. There's miracles. There's parables, there's poetry, there's fights, there's battles, there's drama, there's suspense, there's heroes, there are villains, there's stories of kings and stories of lowly people. Anyone who says the Bible is boring, they ain't reading it right, 'cause it is so amazing. I get so excited about the Bible, which is so funny because I am not a good reader. In fact, in school, I hated reading. But now I can't get enough of the Bible. I love studying it, I love discovering new truths, and I love learning from other people about the Bible. Sadly, I only know this much about the Bible. There's so much more for me to learn. Mark Twain said it this way: "It ain't the parts of the Bible that I can't understand that bother me. It's the parts that I do understand." Truth be told, if I were to just live my life by the parts of the Bible that I do read and that I do understand, my life and the world around me would be completely changed. Next to teaching kids to love Jesus, my next big goal is to get you excited about the Bible. That's why I encourage you to bring your Bible to church with you. I love you knowing how to find things in it. I love you taking notes in your Bible. I love you underlining verses that impact you or have a special meaning to you. This week in your XL devotion book, you are going to read some great stories from the Bible. Tomorrow you will read a story about a guy who had a son and almost sacrificed his son. That means he almost killed him to show God how much he wanted to obey him. Then there's this story about the disciples getting scared and freaked out by a storm. And then there's this story about these 2 women who were fighting over a baby, and they took their fight to the king, and he told them that he was going to cut the baby in half and give each of them half of the baby. But do you know what happened instead? You'll find out in Wednesday's devotion. You're also going to read a story about these 10 guys who had leprosy all over their body, but then Jesus healed them. And the last story that you will read this week is about this little boy who shares his sack lunch, and Jesus used this small sack lunch to feed over 5,000 people. What's really amazing is how God is going to use all of these different stories to give us wisdom. That simply means He's going to make you wiser, which is kind of like being smarter, but it's way better than that. And wisdom, well, that's something we all could use a little more of. For me, I need a lot more wisdom. Did you know that God tells us that if we need more wisdom, that we can simply ask Him for it and He will give it to us? Yep. In fact, that's this week's memory verse. This week, you're going to use the green memory verse poster, the green wristband, and the bear tattoo. This week's memory verse says, "If any of you needs wisdom, you should ask God for it. He will give it to you. God gives freely to everyone and does not find fault. But when you ask, you must believe. You must not doubt." James 1, 5-6. I have been so impressed with how amazing you have been with learning your weekly memory verses. And you are going to blow my mind when you learn this week's memory verse. I can't wait to see you next week. Later. Love ya. Bye-bye.